Okay. Anyway, that was a good question. Using your local SEO SOP, how much longer does it typically take for a service area business with no location to get results compared to businesses with displayed addresses? And can we get time estimates for campaigns if we order the competition analysis video add-on? No, no, no. There's no way. First of all, I don't. Um, how much longer does it typically take? I have no idea. It varies about there's so many different variables that affect that, right? It's not just the address, but it's all the other signals too. The address is a big part of it, though. There's no question. I mean, look, even if all your other things are done properly with an unpublished street address, it's like entering a fight with one arm tied behind your back. It's not. It's just unfair. It's not right. The amount of boost that a GBP gets from having a published street address is huge. So how much? And I tell that to tree contractors all the time. Look, we can still get decent results, but it's going to be limited. The area coverage that you can get on a map is going to be significantly less when it's an unpublished street address. At least that's been my experience. If you're in a really rural area without a lot of competition, it's not very very difficult. But that's kind of rare too. You know what I mean? Usually we're in there. There's a lot of competition, even in the suburbs. And so having an unpublished street address, how much longer does it take? I can't tell you that. There's so many different variables. I'm not even going to give you a guess because it may never perform well. That's just the reality of it. Okay. Can we get estimates? No, I don't make up data. I don't. If I'm going to speculate something, I'm going to disclaim up front. Like this is an assumption I'm making. You know what I mean? And so, no, I'm not going to give you estimates on that because there's too many variables. I have no way of being able to determine that. Okay. The only way you're going to be able to determine that is when you just start working on that campaign and see how it responds and things like that. Then when you start like as long as all the other factors are done properly, which when you have an unpublished street address, all those other factors become much more important. Right? Branded location authority. I mentioned that before. Like that's number one. Site efficiency number two, which is an on-page thing, right? That's an on-page thing. That's why going back to the previous question where you was like, well, if you can't get a GBP, should you just rank on organic only? And I was going to say ranking organic only assets for lead generation is almost, worthless in my opinion. But if an organic asset is tied to a Google business profile via the website URL, right? Then it's critically important that it's optimized properly, even more so if it's an unpublished street address business, right? And so if you're going to have an unpublished street address, it's really important to make sure that everything else is done really, really well. And then once you start link building, creating additional branded assets without the street address and all that kind of stuff, then you can usually start to get an idea of a timeline, an estimated timeline, once you see how it starts to respond to those signals, those external signals. Hopefully that's clear. All right.